Hi. A picture is worth 1,000 words, and that is certainly true for photojournalism and for the photos we see every day in the news and on websites. These photos can be so powerful. They can be beautiful. They can be startling, and they can be heart-stopping. And they can move us to do many things that are good as well. But how much of these photos are true? In these days when even my mother, can Photoshop in a very professional manner, it's hard to know how much you can trust these photos. So that's what this thinking routine is going to look at, both the beauty, the power, and the questions behind a photo. Even before photography, news engravings were used to sway public opinion, and probably you've heard about the story of this Boston Massacre engraving by Paul Revere, how the redcoats all lined up in bright lights was not exactly the story. It was more a story of a mob at night throwing rocks at the soldiers, and the soldiers in confusion responded in an undisciplined manner and shot people. But it wasn't as one-sided as this engraving will portray. However, it was pivotal in getting the colonists stirred up for the revolution, as I'm sure you've heard. Here is Crispus Attucks, the first person who died in the revolution. He was black and also part Native American, but he's depicted as white. And there's a nice lady just being gentle and not seemingly very peace-loving woman right there, but it was actually, from eyewitness accounts, more of a mob situation. 5 people died and several were injured. Probably also know the story of Premier Gorbachev of Russia, or the USSR, and how he had this birthmark on his head, but in official Soviet photos, it was airbrushed out to make him look better. It's easy to find just by Googling it famous photographs that people of differing opinions say are the top 10 that changed the world. Here, for example, are some on Fleximize.com. The man who stood against the tanks in Tiananmen Square, the nuclear strike in Nagasaki, sunset on Mars. This is a picture of Boston taken from a balloon, the first aerial view of Boston. Here's the famous moon landing. And D-Day. Here's some really famous photos that aren't exactly what they seem to be. This famous photo of building a skyscraper in New York City is true, but actually it was staged by the photographer. The construction workers didn't really just hang out on that beam and read their newspapers and smoke and chat, as they're shown in this picture. And even in Lincoln's time, photo retouching was used. According to this website, atlasobscura.com, this photo here of Abraham Lincoln was commissioned by him by a famous photographer named Matthew Brady. There were a lot of rumors going around during the campaign when Lincoln was running for president that he was extraordinarily ugly. So he commissioned this photograph. And what Brady did, because he was so tall and gangly of a man, he had Lincoln do certain things. Like you see right here, he's curled his fingers so you can't really see how gigantically long his fingers were. He also retouched the collar here and made it bigger so the neck didn't look so long, and focused a lot of light on the face so you couldn't see how gangly his body was. And here's the famous Kent State photo that captured the uproar and chaos that the Vietnam War brought to the United States in the early 70s. It's a super famous photo, but actually the original had these tent or fence posts, one that was photoshopped out to make the picture that was printed in the newspapers that much more dramatic. Now let's walk through together as I create my sample response for this Beauty and Truth thinking routine. Your first job is to find an image you want to work with. I chose to Google directly photojournalism awards, but you might want to do something more specific to your interests, like Nature Photojournalism Awards. There's some interesting ones there. Or Health Photojournalism Awards. Or even Chemistry Photojournalism Awards. Chemistry and Pictures Contest. And of course, you don't have to use that particular search term. You could use award-winning photos, famous photos. But under Photojournalism Awards, I scrolled through and I found so many interesting pictures. But the one that captured my eye was this one here. So this is the one I'm going to engage with. Your first job is to look at the photo for at least 1 minute and then write down at least 10 things you see about the photo or in the photo. Here's a larger copy of the photo that I'll use, which was in the article, and I'll start the narration. The 1 minute narration, although you may choose not to use the narration if you find it distracting, just look at the image for at least a minute.
Look carefully at this high-resolution digital image of this painting. Let your eyes scan the whole surface of the canvas. You might start at the top of the image and look from left to right and right to left. Next, move down to the middle and take in what you see. Then move your eyes to the bottom and look closely. Now, zoom out and again get a sense of the whole work. What are the main things you notice? What colors, lines, shapes, and textures do you see? Now focus on the details. Which ones catch your eye? Choose one and zoom in to look closer. As time allows, choose another and continue looking slowly.
Isn't this a great photo? The more I look at it, the more I see little things like the mowed field and the red button she's wearing, the repeated shapes like that tent shape, tent shape, tent shape, tent shape. But most especially how everybody is just focused on getting this baby through. Even this little boy down here is watching to make sure it goes well. This woman here, and so many hands getting that baby safely through. It's just astonishing photo to me. The barbed wire against the sky. So let's go and I'll put in a discussion post entry or discussion board post. First of all, I'm going to take a screenshot of my image. And I am also going to copy the website link. Now from the Beauty and Truth Thinking Routine page, I will go to the photojournalism discussion board. And here are the directions for my post. Okay, so I'll be the first reply. Click on reply. First thing I'm going to do is insert my screenshot. There it is. A little smaller. And I'll add the link. Okay, now I'm ready to answer the questions. And here's my completed post, which you can read on the discussion board itself. But one thing you'll notice is that it is quite long. Yours does not have to be that long. Although I put 4 beautiful things about this image, the number you need to put is only 3. I put 4 truths, but the number you need to put is only 1. And all this is in the rubric and the directions, which I modified after doing this myself. The background of the photo will take you a little bit of time. So again, be wise with your time. Definitely include information from the caption, but also include at least one more piece of information that's not in the caption, that's from a separate website, and provide the link to a second website about that photo or about the story behind the photo. Finally, you'll answer one of these 4 questions. How might beauty reveal truth or conceal truth? Or, on the other hand, how might truth reveal beauty or truth conceal beauty? Pick one of these one you think most applies to what you're getting out of the photo that you've chosen. Turns out that my photo that I chose without knowing it was actually a Pulitzer Prize winner. You may have seen it and know much more about it than me, but I had a very good time learning about the people in the picture, and I also reviewed what went on in the atrocities in Kosovo, which wasn't so fun, but very interesting discussion. You do need to reply to at least 2 of your classmates by Wednesday night, or by when the assignment is due. To reply to an individual post, by the way, don't use the top reply button, this one, but use the reply button at the bottom of the post. This one here, that's how you would reply to a classmate. Remember, that means you may have to come back if you're the first 2 people posting. And here's a very important point about the replies. The replies this time are going to encourage the person who posted it, that somebody really cared to read what you wrote and view the picture that you found. And they're also going to allow us to connect with each other. So in your reply to a post, make sure you say something more than, wow, this is such an interesting photo, Jennifer, thank you for posting it. Okay, here are some suggestions. How do you feel about the photo they shared? Do you have any new information about it? What ideas does the photo spark for you? What do you connect with in the photo? So it doesn't have to be long, 20 words minimum for each reply, but make sure you connect with something specific. Say something specific or add something specific. Think of yourself as building a short conversation with the person who posted originally. Again, remember to email me if you have any questions whatsoever, and thanks for listening. Bye-bye.